Hello, everybody. It's Small Town Alien here, and I'm going to do something I did about 6 or 7 years ago. I created a video called Stream of Consciousness for an hour and 40 minutes, and I found it to be an interesting exercise. I listened to it maybe a couple of days ago, and there were some funny moments, but it was a more meditative exercise. So I thought, why not do it again? Why not do it again 6 or 7 years later? 2019 I did it, and now it's 2025. I'm 34 years old, and I'm in a pretty terrible mood, so it's a great opportunity to maybe rant and to maybe just see if I can still talk absolute bullshit for an hour and 40 minutes. Because if you look at the absolute disgusting waste of data that people put up on the internet on a daily basis, and the state people's psyches are in, where they listen to absolute nonsense for comfort, why not put up a video for an hour and 40 minutes and see if anybody cares? Because I really don't give a shit if no one listens to this. This is for me. The art is created for the artist, or the bullshit is created for the bullshit artist. So yeah, put this on in the background if you have nothing better to do. If you have nothing better to do, I feel a bit sad for you. But it's being a modern human being is a pretty gnarly business. But it's not gnarly in the sense that it's overtly violent. Like, I live in Australia in the 21st century, and I live in Melbourne, which is a relatively safe city. So there's not much in the way of visceral violence that we experience every day. So the kind of misery I'm talking about is a subtle kind. It's a dull. I've tried to label it in my mind as a dull existential ache. It's like a dull ache that I've felt for a very long time, probably since adolescence. And it always appears and reappears, and I've done various things to distract myself from that dull ache, that ever-present dull ache. Done a lot of things. A lot of creativity is just trying to, make it go away for a bit. But it's sad that the thing that's worked the best in my life has been drugs, has been chemicals. That's been the thing that's worked the best. In my experience, it's been weed, it's been cannabis. I don't use it anymore, but fuck, it worked. It worked, at least for the moment. And so it's no wonder people fucking love drinking and people love drugs, and because life without a chaser is pretty fucking bleak. And it's not bleak, it's not like obviously bleak. It's a subtle bleakness. It's like, fuck. It's just a quiet discomfort that drugs are a great remedy for. So yeah, firstly, nothing I say should be taken seriously. And secondly, if you're in the throes of drug addiction, stay addicted. It's terrible in sobriety. I never want to label myself as a sober person as well. That word it's been so hijacked by insanely intense people that have heaps of tattoos. And of course, intense drug addicts, to stop being addicted, they need to feel the intensity of the addiction. So the only way to do it is be intensely and militantly sober, and like be so sober that it makes other people uncomfortable. I think that's the only way that really intense drug addicts can can fight to stay not intoxicated, because they work so well. Drugs work so well. It doesn't matter what your drug is. They work so well at numbing and easing that existential discomfort. It's like a fucking dummy for a kid, for a baby. Works so effectively well, and yet our society says only certain drugs are legal, and only certain drugs are legal at certain times and certain places that are appropriate. Alcohol and tobacco being the shittest drugs on earth, yet the legal ones. So the society is absurd in certain ways. Like another example of the absurdity is the sports bet ads that have appeared recently. They're entitled "Having a Crack," and the ad is kind of jovial in tone. It's like, this bloke's having a crack. Hey mate, good job. And it's like, it's kind of cynical. It's vignettes of people fucking up in various ways, but it's kind of got that Aussie larrikin. I'm suicidal, but I'm putting on a fucking a larrikin front kind of sentiment, and but at the end it's got this pitifully short 3-second thing saying, "What are you really gambling with?" It's like there's so there's schizophrenia in our society in terms of we say one thing, we advocate one thing, but then advocate not doing the thing. So it's like, bet. We obviously, sports bet wants people to be addicted to gambling. Let's not fucking mince words. Obviously, they want people to be addicted. I don't think there's any way to gamble in a healthy way, but maybe you can. But in my mind, if I worked for Sportsbet, I would want people to be addicted to gambling, because that means more profits. And yeah, if they have to sell their house, that's fucking more profits. So Sportsbet has this 3-minute advertisement, and then it has these 3 seconds at the end saying, "Don't gamble. What are you really gambling with?" And I personally think the ad for the Sportsbet advocating betting should be like 20 seconds long, and the anti-gambling bit should be 10 minutes long. I think that the ad should be like 11 minutes in length. 30 seconds is saying, yes, we want you to bet, and the other 10 minutes, 30 seconds is just really raw, graphic footage of human suffering. Like, it should be, like videos of grandmothers crying. Oh, he's fucking, I had to sell my fucking wedding ring I got given 50 years ago by my dead husband, and just to finance his gambling. And it should have the gambler in the psych ward with like scars from cutting himself, crying, and his whole family crying, and it should have the psychiatrist saying, yeah, he's damaged his brain irrevocably from betting. And yeah, it should just be really heavy, like a Scandinavian film of human suffering, and like a Lars von Trier film. It should be that. It should be painful for 10 minutes, and then at the end saying, that's what you're really gambling with. I think that would just make more sense to me. But maybe, again, this is not to be taken seriously. This is complete drivel. Because I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to. I can barely maintain sanity in my own life. So I don't know how politicians maintain sanity doing that job, being kind of mildly, at least in Australia, mildly tolerated by half the population and utterly despised by the other half. So they must have some secret, like they must be that conspiracy theory of fucking powerful people snorting the tears of babies or whatever it is might be true, because how else would you maintain sanity? But it also maybe means people are different in their makeup. Like some people can just tolerate it, are built for it. I guess I'm built for slight existential discomfort, and writing music in terms of like, it's not even it's just something to distract myself from it, to not make it hurt so much, or to make it make sense a bit, because otherwise I'll just fucking I'll drown in the discomfort. So I get those people who relentlessly just spend their life in mindless, relentless activity, because there's a certain sanity. Just born, childhood, school, university, job, kids, busy, cancer, busy with chemo, and then slow death, life insurance, busy, because to stop and feel the quiet dissatisfaction of being a modern human being in the 21st century in a Western wealthy country is just too mildly uncomfortable. It's not like it's unbearable. The trouble is, it is bearable, but it's just bearable. It's like, fuck yeah. Another day. So I'm interested in the comments. If anybody comments and says they feel a similar thing, or because I'm not sure, it's a subjective. I don't know. The funny thing in life is you're completely alone in a lot of ways, because no one can really understand how you feel, because we don't have that technology yet. But we can approximate. Yeah, all art is thievery in a lot of ways. That's another thing that I think about in my when I'm making a song. I'm like, I'm stealing this chord, stealing this note, stealing this word, stealing this lyric, stealing this idea. It's all thievery, but it's the best we can do as artists, is compile different combinations of things. I fucking hate the word art. I don't know why. I hate a lot of words. I'm viscerally disgusted. I had to, probably a month ago, I had to really make a decision to say, look, I really have to be careful what content I take in, because life is, existence is uncomfortable enough that to listen to the worthless, utterly worthless garbage that people put on social media, the utter pathetic yearning for attention because they're sad with their life or whatever, the utter, oh, look at me, I need the fucking red heart to continue for another day. It actually makes me physically ill, so I need to be careful with what content I take in. And YouTube's the same. Look, I'm filling it up with more shit. YouTube is completely full of shit. It's just full of shit people do to not kill themselves. And I get it. That's why I put shit on the internet. That's probably what it's there for, as a complete dumping ground for human suffering. Like, I saw a video, just a caption, and I was like, I need to stop. It was some video saying, look at this terrible voicemail Kurt Cobain left in 1993. I'm like, oh, fucking kill yourself. Kurt killed himself. That's fucking... You're disturbing a dead, sad guy who put a fucking shotgun in his mouth. Like... Are we really cancelling Kurt Cobain now? Is that how fucking bored we've become as a species? We're cancelling a poor fucking guy who hated being alive, and he had to shoot fucking opium into his fucking veins just to tolerate existence. Are we really having a go at him for the voicemail he sent, probably in the throes of withdrawal? Like, just for fuck's sake. It's a it's a brutal. Again, nothing I say should be taken seriously. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. So if you kill yourself from what I just said, I'm legally covered because I said don't take anything seriously. Because that's what you have to do now in our society, because people are so on edge. You say the wrong thing, they fucking harm themselves, they can sue you. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane to be alive. It's insane to be in this body. What's the real insanity of being alive? Like, if we really pin it down, what is insane? Probably memory makes us insane. Like remembering childhood, remembering good times, and then having a bad time and comparing the good time we had to the bad time we are now having. Because like when I look at animals, I don't see insanity. I see pathetic. I see pitiful lives. Like a fly having to eat shit and then die. But maybe the fly doesn't know any different. The fly loves shit. I don't know. We actually don't know how other animals experience reality. So, and I think in our society now we have a kind of yearning to go back to being animals, because this whole self-conscious experiment hasn't really worked in terms of finding enlightenment. It's really made people more rigid and more enculturated and more just quietly miserable. At least me. I don't know. I can't. Maybe other people fucking love being self-conscious, but I have a quiet yearning for the animal kingdom. Like I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it'd be cool being a bear, but then if you were actually zapped into the body of a bear, you'd probably be like, fuck. I mean, it would only be good if you had no memory of being a human. If you could say, fuck this memory, I want to go into being a bear. And then you become a bear and you're like, you don't know any different. And a bear probably feels fear, but it doesn't carry the fear with it. That's the thing humans do. We carry our fear. I carry my fear. I fear a moment. Like I fear a harsh conversation with a family member. I have the harsh conversation and then I carry that fear with me. Yeah, families are weird. Families are funny. Family, not a weird thing. I use that word too much. Family can be very uncomfortable. Because often I'm at war with myself. Like I'm of the belief that ideas inhabit us down to the bone, down to the cellular level. Ideas control our behavior. So with family, a lot of the time I'm at war with myself with two cultural ideas, because on one hand I was kind of raised with the old school ethos of love your family no matter what, always help out your family. You always need to help family. And in our culture, in Australian 21st century culture, there's a culture emerging of fuck your family. Not like completely, but set boundaries with family. You don't owe your family anything. And I like that idea too, because family can really piss you off. And sometimes you with family, you're like, why the fuck are we hanging out? Especially extended family. Sometimes I'm like, fucking hell, why do I have to spend time? So it's good it's only weddings and funerals. But close family can be very annoying. So at times, not all the time, but it's interesting. So when I'm faced with a conundrum of like, should I let a family member stay over? I'm on one hand saying yes, family first. Family is a great thing. Always need to help our family. Second bit of culture is like, fuck, I like my space. I'm miserable enough as it is. Family can cause uncomfortable emotions. Is it better to just say I don't want to be I love 20-minute conversations. I'm a big fan of 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes is a good length for a conversation. Anything more, we're starting to edge on what the fuck are we doing, and you start gossiping. And gossiping's good. I'm a fan of gossiping, but after a while, it just gets tiring because you're not solving anything, yet you're still talking. You're still making noises. So 20 minutes is a good length for a conversation, I think. I'm happy to meet up. Meeting up with family for 20 minutes to an hour at the most. But then once we get into the staying over 8 hours, 12 hours, it's like fuck. As long as we live in a society where you can earn enough at least to have your own little plot of land that you're doomed to live in, and that's already burdensome enough. Like, to have another person invade your space, like I hear in Japan, they're very protective of their home environment. The home environment is sacred, and you have to be very careful about who you let in to your home. And I'm behind that 100%, because the world outside's fucking bananas, and it's boring, and it's painful, and it's just chaotic. And yes, we need to engage in it, but when you come back home, you need to have people that you can tolerate being around. And that's what I have now. I can tolerate the people I'm living with. It's not perfect, but I can tolerate them for long periods of time. Because, it's just, living is a drag a lot of the time. So I think I'm with Schopenhauer in that I think the success of a life isn't how much happiness you experience. It's really the extent to which you avert disaster. So I'm big on averting disaster and averting needless chaos. But of course, disaster always makes its way in to everybody's life, or my life at least. But so why am I doing this? Why am I talking for it? Because there's just nothing else to do. I really have nothing better to do. And this guitar track was recorded 6 years ago or whatever. But so you're aging 34, I guess I start noticing the body, not like breaking down, but, certain functions, like pissing, for example, urinating. You have to be a lot more. You have to be a lot more patient with your urination. You have to spend a bit more time making sure all the bladder is all the liquid is gone from the bladder. Because otherwise, if you don't, a bit of urination will expel itself from the penile organ while you're just walking around. You'll have a bit of wetness, and guys in their 30s and 40s will know what I'm talking about. It gets worse. So that's the other thing about why I call myself small town alien, because the body is a foreign. We live in a time, I feel like, where we say body positivity. We got to love our body. We got to. The body is the temple. The body, if we're anything, we're our bodies. But the body, it fails, and you get cancer, and it doesn't work in the way that you want it. It slowly breaks down over time, and that's depressing. So the body feels more and more foreign as you get older, it seems. So that's good to look forward to. So really, life, in a lot of ways, is the art of not killing yourself. It's the art of not, looking at a cliff and thinking, I'm going to jump off because I cannot be bothered. I would never put myself in a position of trying to talk to someone in that state. But I guess all I can say is I've been in that state. I've been suicidal. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of, theories about suicide, and I've done a little bit of research myself, but ultimately the person, for whatever reason, is extremely uncomfortable. they're very extremely, and in a sense, that dull ache of existence that I mentioned before, in a suicidal person, at least in my experience, like I'll say for me, when I was suicidal, that dull ache was like turned up. It was just, I was extremely uncomfortable existing, and it's a type of pain you can't really locate in any particular region of the body. You can probably feel it in your guts a little bit, but it's just extreme existential discomfort. And yeah, the only way, and I assumed that the source of the discomfort was coming from myself, my identity, and the only way to stop that is to end your life and to end yourself, to stop the pain of existing. And yeah, I never quite got to jumping off the ledge, but I was pretty close, with like I stood at a cliff face and considered jumping off, but then I thought, fuck, is this how my story is going to end, But anyway, the thing that really assisted, and it's not romantic, it's not sexy, it's not God, it's not realization, it's just sleep medication. Because I was not, my discomfort was causing me not to be able to sleep for weeks at a time. So I kind of went, after the sleep deprivation, I started being psychotic symptoms, and then I likely went to the psych hospital, and they gave me intense sleep medication, and that's really that was the turning point. Meds knocking me out to the point where I could actually get some sleep and slowly start regaining sanity. My brain could, whatever it does, shut down, and I was there for a month, and there were some other patients who were like, I love this, and I'm like, I fucking hate this. You're definitely insane if you love being in a psych hospital. You're definitely struggling with your mental health if you think a psychiatric hospital is fun. I hated it, and that's the whole point I was there, was I hated everything, and that happened over Christmas 2022, 2023, and I've been I took antidepressants up until kind of 2024, kind of April, May 2024. I fucking hated antidepressants. I mean, I get they probably help in the short term, but they didn't cure my misery at all. They maybe assisted for the first 6 weeks in maybe giving me a little bit of a bump, but fuck, they didn't really work, and they dull your sex drive. They make it impossible to orgasm. But yeah, I'm not saying anything for or against them, but I'm just in terms of what you should do. But I'm saying I fucking hated them. And since then, I've been unmedicated. Really, I've been just raw dogging life, drinking life without a chaser, and it's not really fun. It's I guess my problem is that I was raised with kind of the post-flower power generation, the hippies who said "fuck you" to 50s dad and took LSD and started exploring this possibly non-existent thing called consciousness. And then they thought, life is more than just drudgery work, tolerating life, having children, teaching them how to tolerate life, and then dying a death. There's more, there's enlightenment, there's beauty, there's transcendence, there's bullshit words, there's empty phrases to explore. And so I was kind of raised, and no fault of my parents, they were doing the best they could with the information they had. But I guess happiness was a big, was a thing talked about a lot in my household. It was like, how do we get happiness? What is happiness? How can we find happiness? How can we find permanent happiness? And whether it was conscious or not, that was what I was really trying to find, was permanent happiness. Probably since adolescence. Like, I initially thought it was in fame and recognition through music or filmmaking. I wanted to be a filmmaker for a bit, or an author, making a great piece of art that really connected with people, and they say you're fucking amazing. So I thought career could be the source. Career could be the source of happiness. Discovered that it's kind of miserable a lot of the time. Chasing a dream. The irony of chasing a dream is it can become your nightmare. So, and then I thought, when I discovered drinking and specifically weed, for me, weed was my, portal to permanent bliss. And when I first started getting high, especially getting high alone, I was like, oh shit, I've discovered the secret to life. Like, I remember the first time, it was like I was just sitting in a field getting high, and I was like, I'm experiencing a beautiful moment at the moment, and it was like manifesting beautiful weather when you want. And it was such a great discovery. It was such a great discovery, at least I thought at the time. Because, I have complete control. Who doesn't want complete control over their emotional state? And I thought I could just summon bliss whenever I wanted. But here's my theory about that. That if you could control the weather, like Storm in X-Men, but you could manifest beautiful, sunny, temperate weather whenever you wanted, eventually the storms would accrue. And at some point, you would you'd have to pay for all those unexperienced, dull, sad moments. And in a sense, that's what I feel like happened with me. Because, for pretty much all of my 20s up until 31, up until my breakdown, basically, I was a regular stoner. I was more so at the start. I was like, for the first couple of years, I was a daily stoner, trying to be a 24/7 stoner, and it was definitely beautiful. Those first couple of years are kind of, the novelty hasn't worn off, and I did silly things like drive stoned and stupid things, but. Because I just wanted to be high all the time, and I was like, I'm a better driver stoned, all that shit. Until you get pulled over by a cop and get drug tested and lose your fucking license. So, I guess I wasn't aware of the consequences, and I was a lot more. I wasn't aware of how useless I was to other people while stoned. In that, I could write a song and stuff, but in terms of solving a life problem or helping someone move furniture, I wasn't very helpful in that way. So, but for the first 2 years, it was blissful. It was just making music, playing gigs, living the rock star fantasy in shitty country towns in South Australia. But always needed to have weed on me. Always had to have weed with me at all times, because I felt I maybe knew, but I didn't want to admit to myself, I feel really uncomfortable, not high. And and then about 2016, I kind of started noticing the negative effects. I would start trying to curate when I would get stoned. I would get stoned only in the afternoon or the evening, or when I felt like I didn't have anything I needed to do. And that's the trouble with any drug. And I've always maintained this, that it's the trouble with heaven is it makes earth seem shit. like when you experience it's the only really real thing I think you can say to teenagers and young people when they're thinking about drug use, because I think we say a lot of fucking lies to kids and young people. We say, oh, drugs are evil, drugs are bad, drugs cause harm, yada yada yada. It's like sex causes harm, but the real truth is drugs feel amazing. Like, let's not fucking mince words. Drugs feel amazing. At least if you find the right drug that fits your particular temperament, it feels amazing. But the trouble with feeling amazing is when you're not intoxicated, and there'll be times in your life where you'll have to not be intoxicated if you want to survive. And it's really uncomfortable. It makes those moments really uncomfortable. At least for me, that's what I experienced, is that when I started working 9 to 5 but still was trying to be a regular stoner, I made a rule. I was like, I'm going to not get high during the week and get high on Friday night and Saturday and Sunday, and then try and not get high Sunday night. And it was kind of shit, because Friday night was amazing. Saturday morning was fucking amazing. Saturday afternoon, good. Saturday night, good, but thinking about tomorrow and work on fucking Monday. Sunday morning, I would get stoned and be like, okay, it's my last time, because I need the drug to wear off by Sunday, so I could sleep. And I also had trouble. Weed affected my sleep, and that weed wakes me up. So if I smoked weed too late before bed, I couldn't sleep. So it fucked my sleep, and I would have a couple of days where I just wouldn't sleep at all, and I had that a lot of the time. So yeah, it was definitely a cost to it. But yeah, was it worth the high of Friday night? I don't know, probably not, looking back on it, because Monday morning, I know it was probably the worst was probably fucking Wednesday morning. Just the fucking pain. And it's not like it's a dull ache. And so while I kind of miss weed, I miss the high. I don't miss the complexity that comes with any drug, because you have to make all these bullshit rules about when you take it and when you don't. So yeah, not indulging in drugs or drinking. It's definitely more painful in the short term. It's just more uncomfortable. But the benefit is it's simpler. It's depressing and it's simpler. Whereas the world of drugs is a wonderful world. It's a wonderful, beautiful world full of mystery and magic. But there are costs, the complexity, the rules you have to make with yourself. I'll only drink on Friday night, and I don't know. But for me, it's like I would always be like, oh yeah, I can control it. I can still have fun when I'm sober. But that was bullshit. I could not have fun sober. And now being like just raw dogging life for the most part, I still don't have that much fun. I don't really have. But the other trouble with drugs, especially psychedelics, I messed around. I've had some utterly beautiful experiences on LSD and psilocybin. I remember one experience. I took just the right amount of mushrooms, because I guess at a certain point, kind of in my later 20s, I was not interested in really fucked up psychedelic experiences, like really intense trips where reality dissolves. When I first started like taking acid and mushrooms and stuff, that's what I wanted. I wanted to feel, I mean, I still was kind of, I only wanted the good trips. I wasn't interested in the bad trips. But yeah, let's take mushrooms for example. I've had an amazing experience and I've had a terrible experience. I've had both of those. The good experience was when I took the right amount, and it was a cold winter's night, and I was just looking at a rock on some gravel, and I thought, nothing is bad about this moment. This moment is utterly perfect, and I don't need to change a thing. And I can just sit in stillness and be utterly fulfilled, utterly at one, utterly present, and not itchy, and not needing to do anything to justify my existence or to feel better. Because that's the tragedy of being human, is we have to move and do stuff to even have a chance at feeling good, and it's depressing because sometimes you have no fucking energy. And you just want to sit and not do anything, but that feels bad. That feels uncomfortable. So you have to make yourself uncomfortable by moving to be comfortable. It's a paradoxical, sad situation. But yeah, on this mushroom experience, I didn't feel any of that. I felt just completely content, and not like ecstatically happy, just like the Buddha. And of course I wanted to figure out how to sustain that forever, but haven't figured it out. And then on the flip side, I had a terrible experience in Amsterdam on mushrooms, where I took some. My friend had left the room, and I just felt utter fear. I felt complete and utter fear. Like I was just scared, and I didn't know what I was scared of. And in a sense, that's kind of what happened during my breakdown. I had complete and utter fear. And I felt like that for like a couple of months. So it was like a really bad mushroom trip that lasted for months. Don't recommend it. So yeah, that's the thing about especially psychedelics as well. Like I have another friend who tried DMT as part of a trial to cure depression, and he said he went to hell. He went to hell, a version of hell. He went to his own version of hell when he took it so it didn't really help his depression. So yeah, psychedelics, it's a roll of the dice. That's the thing with them. They're a gamble. And of course the fans of psychedelics would say set and setting, people praise them as a way to fix trauma and find joy again. And yeah, maybe it can work. Probably it's good that there's research being done on them. But yeah, there's also a complete flip side that they can cause psychosis, and there's countless stories of people tripping and having a terrible time and killing someone or killing themselves. And yeah, it's probably a small percentage, but it's still a percentage. So there's always that risk, but there's risk driving a car. So yeah, again, I don't say do or don't do psychedelics. There's just a lot of there's risk. There's risk in everything. There's risk in not taking risks. We all take risks. I guess it's just living simply is an art form, and it's an uncomfortable art form in a lot of ways, because in a way complexity is very comforting. Like when we say, like if I'm sitting feeling uncomfortable, I could say, why am I feeling uncomfortable? And I could go back to my childhood and say, well, I had an uncomfortable experience. I was isolated at a party when I was 4 years old, and I felt bad, and then I'm carrying that. Why was I isolated at the party? Oh, because my brother took over the party, and I felt like I wasn't part of the party. It's a minor thing, but kids are very sensitive in that way. And then I could say, well, why did that happen? Because family dynamics, and then I can say because life is complicated. Whereas where I could say I'm sitting here uncomfortable, I don't know why. That's a simpler but more difficult story. I've always wondered that, like, why we ask why, because I think that's a stupid question. We ask why. Asking why isn't a bad question. Asking why, we ask why. Like, I think that's when we get into trouble with, like, philosophers and stuff get into trouble because they're questioning the very fabric of existence, like why the fabric is like it is. It's like asking why is there gravity? And you can't really answer why is there gravity in a way that, like, someone set it up that there'd be gravity. Or maybe you can, I'm not a physicist, but, like, I imagine you can ask how gravity formed and, like, the other forces and stuff, but, like, you can describe the fundamental forces of reality, but you can't really describe why they're like that, like why they're set up like that. In the same way that an artist can describe sorrow or describe happiness or describe boredom, but why these emotions exist outside of they're caused by certain reasons or whatever, there's no real explanation, at least one that I can think of. Maybe you can think of one. I don't really care. I care about avoiding the uncomfortable emotions. Because a lot of days I never thought that I'd get to the point where a day, like, I was raised with this idea, or somehow I got this idea that every moment had to be special, every moment had to be appreciated. And I think fundamentally underneath that is a fear of death and a realization that we're not here for infinite time, whether it's long or short, I don't know, but we're not here forever, and therefore every moment needs to be appreciated, and that creates even more misery because you're sitting there going, I need to appreciate this moment, and the moment doesn't deliver. The moment's like a bad Domino's driver. It doesn't deliver the ecstasy or the contentment that you think you should find. And so I feel slighted a bit. I feel like I've missed out. I'm missing out. I'm missing out on the appreciation of the moment. And pardon me. And that creates sadness. That creates it creates like it's just more tension. So I kind of wish I could just forget that idea, because maybe we're going back to that old school medieval idea that life is to be tolerated. Life is not meant to be ecstatic bliss, but somehow that doesn't stop my search for permanent happiness. There's a great thinker, I don't know what he was, but not many people know about him because he doesn't deliver any hopeful messages. He's got nothing to say. He spent his whole life telling people, I have nothing to tell you, go away, and people would still follow him. He was U.G. Krishnamurti. He was a Indian guy who traveled the world telling people they don't need to change anything. There's nothing in my message, and people would try and understand his message, and he's like, you're a fucking idiot, stop trying to understand. And here I am still trying to understand why I feel like this way as a way to stop the feeling, because I still underneath it still want permanent bliss, but it's just not possible yet. That doesn't stop the search. So I guess the search stops when the search stops, when I actually finally go, wow. Because I think very easily people with my particular outlook can be labelled as depressed. Like I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. So, you know, very... and the thing is, there's no cure for this. I think I'm slowly getting to the realisation that this is me. This is me. It's just the background of slight discomfort, and my role, I guess, in life is to try and not make it worse than it is. To try and do things that don't make it worse, don't cause any major psychic disturbances, although they happen. But yeah, never thought that I'd get to a point where I feel like life is to be tolerated. Life is to just be withstood and just you know, grit your teeth a bit, stiff up a lip, get through it, and survive. So I guess, yeah, survival is still the name of the game. Even though our surroundings are a lot more comfortable, our surroundings are more serene, but the discomfort is still there, and we're still survivors. Like we still, yeah, our environment is more comfortable, but the cost of that is psychic disturbance. It's just like, for me, it's just like, I'll give you an example. I was the other day, I was sitting in this room. It was cold outside, the heater was on. I have someone I love and who loves me in the house, and I had a full belly, and you know, I was sitting there and I was thinking, I'm comfortable, I've got clothes, I've got shelter, I'm not starving, I've got someone nearby who cares about me. Why do I still feel uncomfortable? And maybe it just dawned on me that this is it. It's an endless storm. And if there's not a storm happening outside, there's a storm inside. Peace really is an imposter. So I really don't like this metaphor that Buddhists and quasi-deep people say, the void. I don't think there's a void. There's just endless shit. There's an endless storm. There's an endless torrent, whether it's really strong or mild, of just shit, memories, feelings. But it's not empty. The trouble is, I would like to be empty. It's full. It's just happening, and it's uncomfortable. So yeah, it's funny that you can have a beautiful, serene setting and feel unsettled, feel disrupted. It's the tragedy of modern man, I guess, but I think there's just no way. I find it as a message, and I don't know who's sending the message, but you can't control everything. And that's the kind of dilemma I think modern people are in, at least I'm in, is like we've done the work, we've got income, we've got a surrounding that's comfortable, tolerable, we've found food, we've exercised, and we still feel, well, I still feel existentially uncomfortable. And maybe it's a message, and then you look inward and you go, what can I do to control this? What can I do to fix this? And there is no fixing, I don't think. Not in this realm, not in the psychic realm. I don't think there is. And that's the tragedy, that we search for. We want to tranquil the storm, and we can't. We just can't. So, but yeah, maybe it's the message. Maybe the message being sent is you can't control everything. And even if we did figure out a way to, like, whether it was through a chemical that we could completely control our moods, you know, what would happen? You know, we'd probably find some other storm that we have to deal with, because I think reality is always one step ahead. Reality is like a slippery fish made of jelly, and when you try and catch it in the net of knowledge or the net of concepts, The fish like oozes through the net and then reforms into a different shape. So you have to get a different net to try and capture it, and then it does the same thing. So it's always slippery, and I guess that's what all the Zen masters in Zen Buddhism try to tell you, that there's no piece of knowledge that will get you through every situation. There's no concept, love, truth, beauty, trust, enlightenment, peace, loving your brother, fucking treat others as you should be treated shit. No one idea can save you in every situation, because every situation is unique and unfolding, and you can't save yourself. Every situation, there's risk. You make one move, you fuck up, something happens. You make another move, you're successful, and then you make the same move a week later and you fuck up again. So that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, look, you can't always win. And that's the message. So, yeah, I've tried to look at that mild discomfort. I've tried to look at it and, I don't know who's looking though. Every time we discuss that, it's like, I am looking at my discomfort. Well, who is doing the looking and who's feeling the discomfort? That's split. Society splits us between the ideal self and the thing that's actually happening, and the disparity between those two identities is what creates a lot of suffering. I think it's just like, oh fuck, I'm really feeling like this, but I should be feeling like this because someone has put this model of this person who's fucking, yay, life is fucking great, and even the bad times are good. Fucking, you gotta put up with the rain to get the rainbow shit. And it's like, all that shit we tell ourselves, like, I don't think it helps. Like, because I just see one thing here. I see one thing that's feeling kind of shitty and feels kind of shitty a lot of the time. And the philosophies that we have in life, maybe one day it'll change, but I don't think they really cater for people like that. They cater more for people who enjoy being alive a lot of the time. There's not a lot of, greeting card phrases and motherhood statements for people that just tolerate life. They kind of get up and go, fuck yeah. Even if they have a family or have quote-unquote reasons to live. It's not like they get you through every situation. It's like, oh yeah, fucking, another day. Oh yeah, be grateful for the day. It's like, yeah, but you didn't ask to be alive. And, I wake up. It's good to not have bodily pain. That's good. Bodily pain, like physical pain. Like I can bitch about existential pain, but in a way, that's it's nice to have existential pain more than physical bodily pain, because that shit really makes people kill themselves. And rightly so, because it's like, fuck, physical pain is really, chronic pain is terrible. It's terrible. And I don't think there's any rationalization or any phrase or any God that can make it go away. I think drugs are the only thing. Medication, painkillers are the only thing that can really help with chronic pain. So yeah, but it's still, thinking that doesn't make the mild dissatisfaction of life go away. But that's why I think maybe it's just the way it is. And maybe realizing that there's nothing really wrong with me, even though I've been labeled as having major depression. I think it's just my temperament. It's just the way the cookie crumbles for myself. And the more that I can see that as a standard, as a fundamental reality, rather than trying to chase what's the starting point? This other default, this other standard, this other operating system that's blissful or ecstatic to be alive when I'm just not, I think it's just wasting energy, And so maybe the real solace is in those little escapes, the kiss, the laugh, the playing a riff, the okay conversation, fuck sunsets. People fucking, the people froth over sunsets. Like the amount of bullshit, the amount of cultural shit that has been fed into me by media and postcards and poetry about sunsets, and the amount of times I've looked at a sunset and not given a fuck far outweighs the times I've looked at a sunset like where I've actually thought it was amazing, and usually I was high. So get high, enjoy the sunsets. For the rest of us who have a self-imposed prison. Because for the young people, there's something so cool about young people that just fucking live, get high, get drunk, fuck, live it up, and don't think about the consequences. It's so beautiful because it lasts for such a short time. Because the consequences become so apparent so fast a lot of the time, and then you become a mildly depressed adult. But that's the inevitability. And I don't know. I don't know if other people feel the same way, because I think other people have temperaments maybe where they just don't feel. They feel at ease most of the time and they can just live. And especially people that have never done drugs before, there's a certain wisdom. There's a certain wisdom because psychedelic, hippies will tell you, oh, you're missing out, man. You got to fucking, you haven't seen anything. You got to see reality. You got to peek behind the curtain. And I've peeked behind the curtain, and it is fucking amazing. But it's tragic as well because you can't unlook. And suddenly, a simple, normal day becomes a burden because you're not seeing what you saw. You're not experiencing what you felt, and it's tragedy. For me, at least, that's been the tragedy of experiencing utter cosmic bliss. Is that I'm paying for it now. I'm paying for it every day, and not in a dramatic fucking woe is me way, just in a mathematical, that's what happens. So there is a certain wisdom in never ever doing drugs, not even drinking, not making yourself ecstatic from any chemical. But then again, even sober people can experience bliss, whether it's like, love or, you can still experience bliss in other ways. So there's still a risk. There's still a risk in being sober as well, and never trying drugs. So I don't know. Take drugs. Don't take drugs. I don't give a fuck really. They're both shit roads. But I love the psychedelic guys who really champion psychedelics because it's like people that really believe dreams mean shit. It's like you have a really profound, beautiful experience and you want to share it with people because you want to believe that it's amazing. And people need to hear it, but no one really gives a shit about your dreams. No one really gives a shit about your drug experiences. No one really gives a shit about your mental health because there's nothing there. There's no solving. Wow, I saw God. Cheers. What am I meant to do with that as a fucking person living a life? I saw Satan. Great. What did he say? Like, what can we do with that? It's like, even if we found out that, yes, heaven does exist, it's a place we go to when we die, what would change? I guess it depends on the rules. Like, if you are a good person and you get into heaven, if it was true, then people would probably be a lot nicer to each other, which is what was cool about Christianity, I guess, that people really believed that if I'm nice, I will get into heaven. And then I think maybe they use it as a metaphor, like if you're nice, you'll experience heavenly moments. And I'm not a really nice person, but I don't think I'm a complete cunt either. So I hover somewhere in between. So maybe if I was really fucking nice, I would experience more bliss, but I just can't be fucked. And it just feels fake to fucking, hey, neighbor. It's like, I don't really know you. You could be a child molester, so why would I fucking wave ecstatically? So yeah, maybe I'll never experience heaven in that way, but maybe it's not worth the effort. It's a lot easier to take drugs, a lot easier. So yeah, I'm kind of, I'm in this state of, mild dissatisfaction. But yeah, no, for the trippers, keep tripping, keep trying to see shit. It's like that guy, Terence McKenna. I tried to listen to a few of his lectures, and he just came off as so out of touch with regular people. I think I'm just very disdainful of any type of elitism. I fucking hate elitism. I think if you have knowledge or wisdom that's not applicable to every single person on earth, it's fucking worthless. Like if you're spouting wisdom, if you're actively, because I'm not giving advice now, this is art. And I said, don't take anything I say seriously. It's all bullshit. You have the information. It's all there. There's AI. You don't need to listen to anybody at all, except for the juice of social connection, that brain chemical hit. That's the only reason you need to talk to people. All the information's online. So Terence McKenna, he was elite about psychedelics. He was one of those guys that you can't live unless you trip, unless you've seen how fucking crazy reality. And it's like saying you can't live unless you've been on a ship and lived on the ocean. And most people, at least in my country, don't know what it's like to live on a fucking ship, and they live. So, and he had that that kind of ratty voice, and I don't think he did anything other than trip. And to me, he was just a glorified junkie. And he probably would say, I don't need to trip. I can experience sobriety and feel at one. It's like, yeah, kind of bullshit, mate. I doubt that. And he just came off as a wiry kind of fucking... He thought reality was a process of intense complexification, like it was getting more and more complex. And I'm like, I think reality is so simple that a child understands, a dog understands, but human beings, because our system exists on the myth that life is complicated and people can sell you shit on the basis that life is complicated. But in really, when you break it down, life is extremely simple. You're born, you eat, you piss, you shit, you wear clothes, you need to make money to buy stuff, and you make decisions, and you fuck up, and you get hurt, you get traumatized, or you make a good decision, you get a bit more money, you get a good chemical hit. Eventually your body breaks down, you get fucking old, you get limited, and then you fucking die, and you make decisions along the way. And then if there's shit that you need to know, people will tell you. People will say some shit. They'll gossip about the shit you need to know. You don't really need to know that much. So yeah, the idea that I think life is complicated because people want to believe that it's complicated because that justifies whatever job they have. Like a botanist, You know, they want to understand exactly how a tree works to sell books, I guess, or to tell other people the knowledge so they can go on and try and understand a tree, and the thing keeps going. Same thing with the mind, the psychology. We want to believe that the psyche is very complicated because I'm a psychologist. People come to me with their problem. I can't just say, yeah, you're fucking miserable. That's it. Or, yeah, you're psychotic. Yeah. Like, you're psychotic. You took meth and you're psychotic. Or you didn't sleep for a week and you're psychotic. Or, you got bipolar. It's shit. Like, I think people want to understand to get away from the pain, and it's very painful. Life is difficult, even in a comfortable Western, I can get food delivered at any point. It's uncomfortable. It's still about survival. It's just about getting through. So, in the end, in the beginning, in the end, Jesus Christ, there is no end. Fucking hell, I'll just revert to cliches. But the complexity, I think the psychologist needs life to be complicated because he needs patience to keep having more questions, to come back, another session, more questions. Oh yeah, maybe you should go and think about that and then come back with some more questions, of course, because he needs another appointment. And good psychologists want you to fuck off. They want you to be like, yeah, you're fine. Life's shit. You're fine. Just tolerate it. They want you to get to that point where it's like, yeah, you're fine. You just realize life is a grind and it's uncomfortable a lot of the time. There are little escapes here and there. But for most of your adult life, past the age of, 27, 28, it's kind of shit. So, that's not unusual. You're not unusual for feeling like that. So, yeah, go out, go to work, fucking feel the misery, have your little escapes along the way, and, let the body break down gracefully and fucking tell your kids, fucking life was better when I was young, when it probably wasn't. It was shit. Fucking perpetuate the myth and die. It's like, what's complicated about that? Where's the complexity in that? But again, yeah, if you believe life's complicated, you'll find complexity. That's the funny thing about reality. Is like whether you believe it's simple. If you think it's simple, you'll find simplicity. If you think it's complicated, you will find complexity. And it's why most conversations are useless and pointless, other than to get that chemical brain hit of socialization. Because other than that, it's like, yeah, after about 7 minutes, you start gossiping. And yeah, gossip's fun, but it doesn't do anything. It absolutely doesn't do anything other than confirm that you have the same morals. But yeah, we still need to talk. Here I am talking because I need the brain hit. I need the chemical hit. I need it because I don't have that. There aren't that many options. Like fucking the way modern people, the advice I've heard: drink your coffee mindfully, go for a walk mindfully, feel the sunshine mindfully. It's like sometimes sunshine feels fucking terrible and it burns your skin and gives you cancer. Like sunshine isn't universally good. Yeah, maybe we just need more in the culture of just like, yeah, it's, But the trouble is, if you tell people life's shit, life's not like shit, but more like life is mildly uncomfortable a lot of the time. You can't sell anything with that information. So it makes sense why that information is not widely not widely circulated, because it's not helpful. It doesn't help at all. But maybe that's what I'm saying. People don't really need help. We all all the information's there. But still we need to sell shit. to people. We need to sell products, sell ideas, sell ourselves. So in the end, I did it again. I can't say in the end. We got about 25 more minutes. This has actually been a lot more interesting than I thought. I thought I was going to get sick of talking at about the 20-minute mark. But yeah, another thing I enjoy doing is taking down sacred cows. Things that are universally seen as sacred in our society, a lot of the time, in certain views I have, are kind of not sacred or bullshit. What's an example? Love. Love, what is love? It's a pattern of being. It's an agreement. It's just an implicit agreement between two people that I am going to be nice to you and listen to the bullshit you say. At least romantic love at the start. Let's just completely not mince words. Romantic love is lust. Let's just say it. There is no romantic love. Any guy out there knows once you orgasm, all that romantic shit goes right out the window. All you want to do is eat and not be annoyed. It's sex. That's romantic love. Long-term stable love is like an agreement. It's a business contract that you either make explicitly or implicitly. You either put it in writing or you do the modern thing of letting it grow and letting it develop. But it's an agreement saying, I will listen to the shit you say. We're going to live a life together through all the mild enjoyment and mild discomfort. We are going to agree to try and help each other. And just, if you have kids, you'll raise the kids. If you have dogs, you'll raise the dogs for a short time, and then the dog will die, and then you'll get another dog and raise that dog or cat. Or if you don't have kids, you'll withstand the burden of existence together and try and make it a little less uncomfortable. So yeah, that's what long-term love is, and I guess love of your friends, let's be honest, friends, they come and go. Friends are nice, but they're so, after about 30 in Australia, it's like friends start fucking having families and shit and doing more important shit, and you'll catch up for a beer or a soda water, and you'll fucking talk about, how's it going, mate? Yeah, life shit. Yeah, how's your life? Yeah, life shit. All right, see ya. It's like we don't need to talk for that much anymore. But, there are still people, I have friends who are aggressively social and still feel like there's something in socialization other than that chemical brain hit. And good luck to them, it's good. It's just a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. But yeah, after about 30 friends, friends are wayward. Friends go away for 6 months, and then you talk. And my parents, they're kind of like, they've never really had a close circuit of friends that they've caught up with. So they have each other. I always thought getting a good partner was the important thing in life. And then after that, friends, it's good. Yeah, friends are good, but you get sick of, I get sick of most people that aren't my significant other after about, I said 20 minutes is ideal, but 2 hours max. That's why, if parties, you have to be on drugs or be drunk. It's impossible to party, and I've tried it. Partying sober is so difficult because you're so tired after about 2 hours of just using your vocal cords. Your vocal cords get tired, and you just want to not be active. So yeah, if you're partying, definitely be intoxicated when you're partying, because it's nigh on impossible not intoxicated. But yeah, so yeah, party. I don't go to parties anymore. Parties just don't happen because I don't feel like, when I was in party phase, I feel like I had to bring the party. I had to bring the weed, I had to bring the pingers, or someone had to bring them. And if someone didn't bring the drugs, holy shit, there was no party. I was fucking going home. So I feel like I was always like this, but the drugs kind of created this other personality that was like, yeah, fucking, you know, what could happen tonight? Nothing will happen. But that's being young. That's the beauty and the complete waste of being young. And it's important. It's totally important. Like, I don't regret it at all. And I think it's, I'd probably feel like I'd missed out on something if I didn't do all that stuff. So yeah, you know, about 20 more minutes to go. What can we say? You know, I'm a bit older since the last video. My voice has definitely dropped in, even though I've given up smoking, my voice has definitely dropped in pitch, and that happens with age, I guess, and wear and tear. But yeah, I think the guy in the last video was definitely more searching for something. I'm still searching, but definitely less so, because there's nothing out there. But you still need to go out there to not kill yourself. Interact with the world, lose energy, get older. But yeah, there's really nothing to say, yet I keep talking. Making music because, yeah, I have nothing better to do. Work, you know, probably don't be friends with anyone at work, in my experience, especially if you work in the office all the time. It's just setting yourself up for disaster, because you see the person for 8 hours a day, and then you have to hang out with them. You have to catch up. And again, like I said, after 30, there's not really much to say about existence. So, you know, why we still catch up for beers is beyond me, but that's probably because I'm a bit of a miserable cunt. And don't see the point. But I still catch up with friends here and there. Like, again, I want that brain hit. I want the chemical brain hit. But again, you get a good hit of that after about an hour. But yeah, probably don't be friends with anyone at work unless they're really great people. But how many people are really great? But what else can I say? Yeah, if you're out there, you're feeling mildly uncomfortable about being alive, it's not unusual. I don't think it's completely natural. Again, like I said at the start of the video, I've largely gone off social media because I'm repulsed by what I see physically, and even close people that I like. When I see them post online, I feel embarrassed, because again, it's like they're yearning for this social connection that's fake on the phone, and they want recognition. It's fucking sad. It's just sad that they need to do that. So I don't like it. But there is the one exception is this obese woman in America somewhere, and all she does is post videos of what she eats in a day. And she probably makes money off that. And I kind of admire the absurdity of it. She's fat, and she's not apologizing for being fat. She counts the calories of every meal, which is beyond 3,000, but I don't know if she's lying about the calorie intake. And all the comments are just the people that are disgusted by it, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy it, but I can't have too much of that, because otherwise I'll get really miserable and get really disgusted with humanity. So I have to be careful. And, you know, people face to face, they're a bit more tolerable. You know, they're a bit more. You know, you can see the humanity. You can see that they've suffered. You can see the misery they've experienced, and there's somehow more. There's just more dignity. There's more. You can relate to it more, and they're less annoying in person. But online, I don't know what it is. People online, like, if you're fucking hating me for this video, completely understand, because online, I may look a certain way. I may look very annoying, and it's possibly because I am very fucking annoying. But you're the fuckwit that's watching this, and you've been watching. If you've listened up to this point, you've been watching for an hour and 24 minutes. So I don't know who the joke's on. Is it on you or on me? I don't know. But yeah, I've got no advice. I've got no wisdom at all. I was born into this world because my dad was horny, and my mum maybe wanted kids. But yeah, my parents did a great job for what they knew. They did the best they could. But I guess I'm what happens when you have a reasonably pleasant childhood, because it's fun, and adult life is just uncomfortable, and I guess there are parents who overemphasize no one gets it, the balance perfectly right. Some parents overemphasize the difficulty of life, like life's a fucking grind and it's terrible, it's shit, people are fucking bad, and you paint a nightmarish picture of reality, and to a certain extent, that's that's wise, because then they'll go out into the world and they'll be like, oh shit, it's not as bad as I thought. Like, people aren't as bad as my parents said. But the flip side is they might have heaps of anxiety because they think everyone's fucking evil and out to get them. And I don't know, that's the flip side. But the other side is parents that overemphasize the good bits, like life's about being happy and fulfilled, and you can find happiness and love and the perfect partner, and you'll have a family and they'll be great and they won't get addicted to drugs, and it's yay. And then the trouble with that is you get into the world, you get your first fucking job, and you're like, holy shit. This is fucking terrible. Holy shit. People are fucking swine. And then you get depressed because you're like, fuck, I thought life was about love and beauty and transcendence, and and I've got fucking diabetes. It's a balance between, I guess a good parent is someone that daily apportions misery just a little bit every day, not so much that it's overwhelming and the child gets utterly distraught from the sadness and the misery, but also not too little that the child grows up thinking that the world is rosy, super nice, and then they have their first job and their first uncomfortable interaction with a customer, and they fucking crumble. So impossible to get right, absolutely impossible to get right. So yeah, it is very stupid in a lot of ways to have kids, but it's also very stupid to not have kids. It's terrible both ways. It's really terrible both ways. And I don't have kids, but I'd like to, but. It's, and I'm in discussions with my partner about it now, and it's like, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. I don't see misery in the kids. I see beauty in the kids. I see happiness, I see joy. I see misery in the parents, but that's it. But also I see misery in couples that don't have kids as well. So it's definitely misery in either pathway, but that's because I guess I'm a pessimist. I guess philosophically you could call me an absurdist pessimist. I'm definitely the absurdism of life. There's different kind of ways to view absurdism. I think the classic, Albert Camus version of absurdism is someone that seeks meaning in life, and the universe doesn't offer meaning, and being human is living with that dissatisfaction. Definitely agree with the dissatisfaction, but I've always been confused with what people mean by meaning. I've never really liked that word, Because meaning to me is just another word for pleasure. It's pleasure with a different label. It's like the meaning of being a good dad, the meaning of being a good partner, the meaning of being a good employee. And it's like, that's all pleasure. It's just pleasure that you get from someone saying, good job, mate. And it's like, it's still pleasure, but I still feel like the civilized, hardworking man and the junkie are seeking the same chemical hit. Just one pathway is difficult and shit and societally approved, and the other pathway is easy and demonized. But so I've always seen it as like the absurdism is people are seeking endless pleasure and bliss in a universe that just cannot deliver. It just can't deliver it because it's changing all the time. And entropy, my neck is starting to hurt. So 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes. And it's been an hour and 40 minutes. And then I'll say goodbye to you probably for another 6 years. The absurdism in life comes from, seeking endless pleasure because I've always sought pleasure. I've always wanted pleasure. I've always wanted to feel good forever. And the universe just can't deliver. So I guess that's the absurdism I live in, seeking that, knowing it's intellectually impossible, but still doing it. So that's the absurdity of modern life. I guess even a lot of techniques that kind of don't look like they're hedonism are actually hedonism in disguise, like meditation. I feel like really when meditators really get honest with themselves. Why are you meditating? Because I'm feeling bad. I want to erase all negative feelings. Even when you say, I'm watching the negative feelings, I'm watching them pass through. Underneath it, I feel like you're really saying, fuck, I want to get rid of these negative feelings. I just want to feel bliss and ecstasy forever. And I think meditation, if you do it too much, can actually fuck you up more because you start policing thoughts with other thoughts. You start thinking a thought and then you think about that thought with the next thought, and then that creates this autoimmune disease of the mind where you're attacking previous thoughts with other thoughts, and I don't think that's a pleasant road to go down. But there's definitely wisdom in just doing simple shit with all of your attention, even though it's fucking boring. There's definitely wisdom in doing the dishes. Not fuck the podcast off. I'm talking to myself here. Fuck the podcast off. Fuck this video off. Fuck the music off. Fuck everything off. Just do it as boring and painfully as it is. Just do it with complete attention. And there's not bliss in it. There's no bliss in it. It's just... there's just... washing the dishes. And there's a Buddhist saying that's always intrigued me. It goes like, before enlightenment, lifting water, carrying wood. After enlightenment, lifting water, carrying wood. And the way I've translated that is that, like, you start off life doing simple things, eating, drinking. As a kid, you eat, drink, play, and, dancing when you want, crying, being upset, sleeping. You just do things. You're doing things for the sake of doing them. And then as you get a bit more, your brain develops, and as an adolescent and early adult, you start questioning things, and you start going, is this all? Why am I doing these things? What's the point? Why do I play? Why do I fucking read And the trouble, I guess, and you go on an adventure of questioning, you travel, you fucking meet other people, you interact, and you find out they're asking why too, and you get all, you're curious, feeding each other's curiosity. And then eventually get to a point where you go, fuck, this questioning why it's endless. It's endless, it never ends. And it's causing me actually a lot of pain and just confusion. So maybe I should just go back to doing shit for no reason. And maybe that's what that phrase means. It's just like doing shit, doing shit for no reason. There's a sanity, because trying to find a reason is endless. It's kind of like, and I actually think enlightenment is the opposite of what the word suggests. I think in the past I've thought of enlightenment as like, illumination of everything. Suddenly reality seems so clear. No fucking human brain is capable of comprehending reality in complete clarity with aughts. No one fucking knows much. And I think that's actually what happens. Enlightenment is actually a darkening of the room you're in. It's a realization that most things you will never know, and even the things you think you don't know that well. And there's like 40 trillion things you don't know, and like 7 things you know. And spending your life trying to understand the 40 trillion things it can be interesting, but it's utterly it's in the end fruitless, and doesn't really. So in the end, you realize, wow, this fucking reality is dark, and it's going to be dark for most of my life, especially when I get Alzheimer's. I start forgetting shit. So, it's a realization that there's no one piece of knowledge that illuminates everything. There's no one viewpoint that illuminates everything. It's just it's muddling through like a crab on the beach, just trying to get its snack or whatever. And I really don't see any difference between us and a crab. It's all about survival, and we have a brain that can name a lot of things, and it remembers a lot of stuff, facts, but it's still a crab. But we're still crabs just trying to survive, and trying to live and then reproduce and then fucking die and become. I think the inherent difference is animals pay in different ways. Humans pay in a different way to animals the cost of being alive. Like animals, ultimately most animals have a violent end to their death. They either get eaten or they starve painfully. No animal gets to die of old age in a bed. But the good part of that, they pay for life in that way, but they don't know that. As far as I know, don't have the conscious attention that they are going to have a violent end. Humans, on the other hand, we know we're going to have an end, and it may or not be. Most ends in the Western world aren't violent, but we live with the knowledge that we're going to have we're going to have an end. But also we're going to decay and we're going to have an end, but we're going to have we could have a violent end, even though it's not like that often in our society, but it does happen. People have violent ends. I hope I don't have a violent end. But again, I have to live with the knowledge that it's possible. Speaking of ends, this stream of consciousness is going to end in 50 seconds, at least I think so. So what can I say? Thank you. If you've listened this far, you are insane, and I feel bad for you that you don't have anything better to do with your time, but thanks for listening, and I hope this distracted you from the dull ache of existence for a time. And we can do this again in another 6 years if planets align, and cheers. It's gonna wrap up. Hurry up.